So we've talked about the importance of having a business model with the potential to deliver sustained profits. And we've already started to look at some of the critical components of a business model, such as what will your customers value about your business over your competitors? What will be outsourced and what will you do internally? The detail of the market need your product or service actually tries to serve. So I'd now like to take you through a really simple tool that's behind me to help you fully articulate the key components of your business model. And just to summarise, the business model is really your strategy for the business, and it's going to be structured into 3 distinct question areas. So who are you selling to? What are you actually selling? And how will you do it effectively? All of these kind of key questions have an impact on the running costs of the business and its revenue performance, or in fact both. And they define your method of making money. So first off, our first question is, who are we actually selling to? And I want to take you to the tool here now and to talk about customer segments. So who are the different groups of people or organisations that you're aiming your products and services at? What is their motivator to buy something? Is it related to money, perhaps saving it, or is it their lifestyle, or is it their appearance to others, or something else? So what's unique to them in terms of what's motivating them to buy? And where are they physically located? And the other question is, are they switching from someone else or perhaps buying for the first time? So some key questions there to help you understand your customer segments. The next question in the who is, what are your customer channels? This is this bit here. And what I mean by channels is, how do you communicate your value and what's different about you to your customers? And actually, when do you get the chance to prove it? So it's worth at this point defining what the key touch points are for you with your customers. And this is going to be from communication during the selling cycle and the process of buying, right through to deliver it and ultimately sign off of what they've bought, which is ultimately collecting the cash from them successfully. So that's the channels. The final one in the who category of questions is customer relationships. So how do you want to position yourself with your customers? Is it as a one-off supplier, perhaps where your value is based on price? Or is it as an ongoing supplier, meaning you need to develop a strong relationship built on trust and delivery? Or perhaps it's a partnership, or as an expert that they call upon for support or information. So that's critical to know, what sort of relationship you want to build. The next category is we're looking at what you're actually selling. So that's here. We're looking at your method of differentiation, or as we've got it here, your value proposition. Now, we've covered this before, but very simply put, it's what is the reason your customers are choosing to buy from you over the competition? And, what needs and problems are you solving better than anyone else? The next component of what you're selling is the revenue stream. So what is it you are physically selling? Is it a product, a service, a lease, a subscription, or perhaps a license? It's important to know how you're going to monetize your product. And is the revenue you're hoping to achieve, will it be transactional, as in one-offs, or will it be recurring? Again, going back to sort of customers rebuying from you. And finally, what's your pricing strategy? This needs to be considered both from an internal and an external perspective. So looking externally, you need to consider, what are the industry levels of pricing currently? What degree of urgency do your customers have to buy? And, what do you think your customers would pay for your product or service? Looking at this from an internal perspective on pricing, what are your costs to deliver that product or service into the marketplace? And what are your gross margin needs and aims? So finally, the third category within our business model canvas is around how you're going to deliver this effectively and profitably. And again, we've got 3 categories really here, but what you're looking at now is key activities. So once you've looked at all of this part over here, you've got a basic understanding of what the basic and key activities are that the business needs to perform in order to deliver to its customers. So here is where you decide what to develop as an internal competency and what to outsource. So looking at that, obviously key resources internally, It's about, what are your key resources? How should you use those resources? What activities are the key enablers for you to create and offer a differentiated product or service? What are the enablers that enable you to reach your target markets and to maintain relationships with your customers? And ultimately, those questions really build up the fact of how you're going to create sustained profits. I'd also like to add, what are the activities that you have the chance to excel at? Because that's really important. And then we come on to the key partners. So you've decided what you're going to do internally. You then need to figure out who your key partnerships will be. So who will be those key suppliers or partners or contractors or outsourcers that play a role in the activity of your business. So ideally, these activities will either be not critical to your value delivery, or you might consider that it'd be more cost effective for someone else to do it, perhaps because they have the right skills or can do it at a cost that you just wouldn't be able to reach. Therefore, it would be prohibitive to do it internally. So that's a little bit more on the how you're going to deliver it. And finally, it's the cost structure. So all of these components relating to your key activities, what you do internally, what you outsource, your key partners, and in fact, any costs associated with the product itself will impact your cost structure. That's all the background to the business model canvas. It's now time to download a blank template for yourself and get all those wonderful thoughts and plans currently in your head mapped out onto a piece of paper. So once you've done that, take a step back and view your ideal business model in its totality and ask others that you trust for their opinion on it too. Does it make sense? Does it stand up to scrutiny and challenge? And are there any critical gaps in either resources or knowledge currently that need filling? For example, are you missing a warehousing partner? Or could you benefit from a better understanding of competitor or industry pricing when setting your own pricing strategy? So use this knowledge to set yourself some strategic objectives to ensure your business model is as coherent and as complete as possible, and then define an action plan to make it all happen. So we're now at the end of this session. I hope it's been useful for you, and please check out our next video, which is going to be all about creating demand for your products and services. It'll be helping you to build a sales forecast and also developing your sales and marketing plans.